Thanks, Bill. And hey, Josh, hope everything's going okay for you. You know, Matthew was just talking about how we're only through practice number 6, but the season is 1 month away on September the 26th. Talk about how strange that is, and two, how things might be heating up now in practice, especially wearing the full pads.
It was definitely different, something that we weren't used to, or that I wasn't used to, and the guys in my class and the guys under me. From a mental and physical standpoint, obviously we'd be closer to a game right now. But, we just take one day at a time and one practice at a time. And, things are definitely heating up. We just got in full pads today. And but we're leaving a lot out there, and we're pushing each other really hard. So we just focus on what we can control at the end of the day.
We'll go to David Ubben, followed by Jimmy Himes.
Josh, your position group, how would you describe how the other guys besides yourself looked, and any guys been impressive that you play a bigger role this year?
Yeah, all the freshmen have been shooting on all cylinders. The upperclassmen are doing a good job getting them acclimated and going over the plays a lot. So, they just take one practice at a time, especially as freshmen, and they don't really know how things used to work beforehand because with everything with COVID. So now we're just kind of taking them under our ring, and we're just looking for a great season.
Jimmy?
Josh, would you talk a little bit about how you lost 2 outstanding receivers last year in Jennings and Callaway, and how you and Brandon Johnson need to be the leaders of this group to try to get Tennessee productive at that position?
Marquez and Jawan taught Brandon and I a lot when they were here. I was fortunate enough to play with them for 3 years, and they did teach me a lot physically and mentally. So with their absence, they really just paved the way for the way we're coming in now and for what I've learned. So, we're just taking advantage of the opportunity in the receiver room. And like I said before, before the Indiana game, it was just next man up. And that's what we preach a lot over here. So we're just excited for the opportunity to come, and we're going to take advantage of it.
We'll go to Brent Hubbs, followed by David Pascal.
Yeah, Josh, back to the freshmen. I mean, we hear a lot about athletic ability and all that stuff. What's been your specific message to them in terms of what they have to do to help you veterans early on in their career? Because, beyond just having good athletic ability. And then 2, even though this has been a strange offseason, how comforting has it been that you guys have continuity, same offensive coordinator, same position coach? How much do you think that helps this offense in general?
So to answer your first question, the first things first for any position in the game of football is just knowing the playbook, right? Coaches are going to recruit players that can run, that can catch, that can play, that can tackle. And at the end of the day, it's just knowing what to do. So as a group and as a team, we put an emphasis on knowing the plays and knowing what we're supposed to do, just like any other team in college football. And to answer your second question, the consistency of having the same coaches around us it helps a lot. It's something that a lot of guys in my classes before that we didn't have was consistency, but now that we have the same coach and the same OC for another year, it does help a lot, and it will help a lot this year.
Josh, a follow-up to Marquez and Jawan. You knew after Jacksonville that they were going to be gone, but was there a moment, whether it was in spring, I know you just had a couple of practices, but was there that oh wow moment where you look around and all of a sudden they're not there, given that they've always been there when you've been there?
Not really. I kind of prepared myself. Well, I want to say prepared myself, but I knew the time would come eventually, and it's just. I mean, obviously, yeah, I do miss them, just them being around, more so their presence off the field. But, no, I didn't have that oh wow moment. That oh wow moment I probably had it at the beginning of last year when I said, okay, yeah, these guys won't be here next year, so let me get that out of the way. But yeah, I do miss those guys.
We'll go to Blake Topmeyer, followed by Luis Fernandez.
Hey, Josh. What areas would you like to see you grow your game this year? You know, are there some areas you're looking to improve? And then also, do you foresee your role or the way you're being used changing at all this year?
Mentally, I feel is where my game has to improve, and especially special teams. You know, Coach Pruitt puts a huge emphasis on special teams, so that's one area of my game that I'm willing to improve mentally in terms of offense and knowing the ins and outs of the offense and special teams and putting a huge emphasis on that. And sorry, what was your second question?
Just do you see your role changing or growing, or maybe in what ways might you see your role changing this year?
You know, a lot of guys are being put in different positions, and you know, coaches trying to make us. What am I trying to say? I'm saying coaches are trying to put an emphasis on being comfortable, being uncomfortable. So they're putting us in different situations, different spots on the field to see what we could do. And, you know, we're just embracing that right now. And we're going to come together as a unit pretty soon.
Luis?
Josh, year 2 under T. Martin as wide receivers coach, what has changed over these past few months as you guys have grown closer, developed more of a bond? Are you seeing differences in him as a position coach?
No, you know, Coach T is the exact same when he first came in, you know, and you know, he's able to adjust and get used to everybody, and he has a great relationship with everybody in the coaching staff. Everybody loves Coach T. But nah, he's been the exact same. Even when I talked to Velas, he says Coach T didn't change from when he was at USC. So, you know, I wouldn't expect him to change. And you know, he's a great guy. He's a great person to be around.
As a player, as a follow-up there, what does that mean to you to have someone who's so genuine that you learn from, that you get to turn to as a coach?
It's great, especially in meetings. You know, sometimes there'll be disagreements, but you know, at the end of the day, he wants the best for us. So he's gonna push us and challenge us every day, whether we like it or not. And you know, it's all out of love though. So he's just great to have around.
Thank you.
We'll go to Patrick Brown, followed by Rob Lewis.
Josh, I'm not sure what you knew about the talent level of some of these new guys that have come in at your position, but have any of them even surprised you through 5 practices?
Yeah, all of them, to be honest. You know, the coaches did a great job recruiting this year, as they do every year. And, you know, like I said before, it's just right now what we're focusing on is competition and just knowing the playbook, the in and outs of the playbook. So I feel every freshman, from receiver to DB to running back to every single position, I feel can come in and do something special for us this year.
Coach Pruitt had good things to say about Jalen Hyatt after practice last week. What have you seen specifically from Jalen that maybe has him impressing early on?
Just his competitive spirit, along with other freshmen that are pushing him, and you know, he's just trying to do, and all of them are trying to just do what we ask of them and what the coaches have asked of them. So you know, every freshman they're competing, you know, and it's great to see, especially me being the veteran in the room. Brandon and I, we like to just watch the younger guys work and see what they can do.
Josh, what are you seeing from Jarrett for the first time in his career? He's been here 5 years, and it's the first time he's had same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. Do you see is he more comfortable? Do you see him benefiting from working with Jim Chaney for 2 straight years?
Yeah, you know, Jarrett's confidence has always been through the roof, no matter what you might see on television. But yeah, I feel Jim Chaney, just his presence as the OC again for 2 years, a lot of guys are able to understand what he wants, think what he thinks, sees what he sees, and it benefits the entire room.
All right, we'll go to Eric Kane, followed by Trey Wallace.
Hey, Josh, what do you expect from Brandon Johnson this season? Of course, he had a lot of success back in 2017. He's been here for a long time, and he's expected to step up after redshirting last year and help you kind of take over the lead in that room, following the departures of Jennings and Callaway.
So what am I expecting of Brandon?
Yes.
Just to do what he does, really. That's kind of a hard question in terms of expectations. I just, we all go out and we compete and we all know what we could do. So I wouldn't say it's expectations, but it's just like, I want you to be great and we all want each other to be great. So I guess you could say that out of expectations is we expect everybody to go on the field and give 100% every time.
Right.
Josh, there is a student athlete march coming up this weekend. And a lot of student athletes have been trying to raise awareness about this. And I know this summer, seen a lot of student athletes come to the forefront about their beliefs. And I just wanted you to talk about, if you could, what is going on this weekend. And then also, what has it been like this summer for you and your teammates trying to spread a message that you guys believe and carrying on for the future, and especially the football season, where people will notice?
So the march that's happening this weekend was put on by a group of student athletes, Trey Smith being one of them. And they just wanted to spread awareness. One of the girls, Mariah Smith, we had a meeting the other day, and she said the fire burns out just as much as it inflames. So we wanted to keep pressing the situation, and Coach Pruitt has been on the front lines with this. He's even moving practice around to make sure that we can attend the march. But this summer has been crazy for everybody, and as a team and just as African Americans, we're just striving for change, and whether that's through just knowledge and being able to spread awareness and people understanding where we're coming from and not forcing anything on anybody, just expressing the value for human life.
We'll go to David, followed by Blake.
Josh, how much have you talked to the coaches about, getting more double teams this year, getting more targets, and sort of what that means for you and your role?
I haven't said anything to them, really.
Like them talking to you or bringing it up, basically, or saying like you're gonna.
Not much, really. I don't walk in with that I'm demanding the ball swagger. I just feel everything will fall into place the way it should be and the way it should. Obviously coaches will have a game plan going into every game in terms of matchups and things like that. But, in the receiver room, all we can control is getting open and catching the ball. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who the ball's going to. I say to myself, and a lot I read in the book recently, the play doesn't care who makes it. So I try to tell the guys that, and it motivates us a lot. I know it motivates me. I tell myself that before every play. So we just go in and give 100% every time.
Blake?
Hey, Josh, have you seen growth from JT Shroud throughout the last year, throughout the off season? And I guess if so, maybe in what areas have you seen him grow his game as a quarterback?
Of course, the entire quarterback room has come with that swagger and that confidence. That's what we like to see, and we feed off of that energy. And they're always competing and pushing each other, especially during practice and after practice. They're always putting in extra work, and we feed off of it as an offense, as a defense. Everybody's rallies behind all of them, all three of those quarterbacks. Or all four of those quarterbacks. So, it's just great to watch them improve and grow together.
All right, we'll go to Ben, followed by Gustavo.
Hey, Josh. I hope you're doing well. Just curious as to what you and your teammates took away from Inky Johnson and Lester McClain recently speaking to the team.
Well, first from Inky Johnson, I've been fortunate enough to hear Inky come and speak for the past 4 years I've been here. And the one thing that always sticks out to me that he says, it's that what does he say? Dang, I just had it. It's a lot. I'm paraphrasing, but it's along the lines of it's a gift to play football, but it's a privilege to play it at the University of Tennessee, and that's something that resonates with me a lot. And every time he comes to speak to the team, he always mentions that. I love that. I love that phrase every time he comes. And from Lester McLean, it was just great to hear the history and everything that he experienced. We don't get the opportunity a lot, and to have him come and take the time out of his day to come and share those words and those stories with us was something special.
Go ahead, Gustavo.
It's your senior season. I've been asking the senior guys, how it feels to, face the Florida Gators at Neyland Stadium, the last game of the season. Senior game at Neyland Stadium. Do you have any thoughts about that? It went through your mind. You went to high school in Florida. You know how Florida Gators are a big rival. What are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts on that are, we take every game one day at a time and one game at a time. I don't think there's a huge difference in us playing them the third week or the last week or the first week or any other given week. It's going to be the same guys, going to be the same 11 guys lining up on the ball. So, it's an experience to play Florida every year. And besides the schedule being changed around and us playing them last or us first, I feel like it's the same thing going into it,
All right, time for a couple more questions. We'll go to Eric Kane, followed by Trey Wallace to close.
Hey, Josh, what have you seen from the tight end group so far early in camp?
Competitiveness. They all bring it every practice, and it's great. It's great to see. They make a lot of plays, making a lot of plays out there, and like I said before, and I'll keep saying it, the play doesn't care who makes it, and if it comes from the running back group, the receiver group, the tight end group, the quarterbacks, we're all hitting on all cylinders. So the tight end room is something special. And like I said, every position feeds off of each other. So when we see tight ends making plays, receivers make plays. When receivers make plays, running backs make plays. That gets the O line juiced up. So that's what we strive for.
We'll close with Trey.
Josh, it's going to be a little bit different when you guys go on the road this year. And I know it'll be the same when teams come to Neyland Stadium. But in your mind, a preparation for, going to a stadium and maybe only playing in front of 15, 16, 17,000 people, does it change things up for you when it comes to offense? I mean, I don't know how much you're going to have to use the silent count and whatnot, but it's going to be probably a little bit different. What are your expectations on that, especially in your senior season where you've been all around the SEC and played?
I have zero expectations. Coming from Canada, when I played high school football there, we didn't have – you could maybe count on a single hand the amount of people that would come to the game. So I'm used to playing in front of a lot of people, and I'm used to playing in front of zero people. Well, not zero, but close to none. So, obviously it's going to be different seeing an empty stadium, but it's something that I'm used to, and I feel like it shouldn't affect the team in any other way. We're going to miss the fans, just having them being there as an advantage, but we'll have fans watching us and supporting us. We'll have a little bit of fans there watching, and our fight and our spirit is going to be the same whether fans are there or not.
All right, great. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.